You may think a fitness passion is an indicator of your fitness business success, but how are you earning money for that fitness passion? How are you doing in that department? If you even slightly had a negative reaction to that question, stay with me. Unless you merge your fitness passion with a healthy money relationship, you won't reach the success level that you want. And right now, while you may be working like me, seemingly twice as hard for maybe half as less, maybe not that much less, but you're working harder for every penny. You're working harder because you're changing what you're doing. You can't offer, you can't sell the same thing you sold 4, 5, 6 months ago because things have changed, needs have changed, problems have changed. So your solutions have changed. And you're working to sell to a smaller percent of people because you've lost some, and or to reach a new percent of people that you've been ignoring for a while. But that said, have you ever said any of these things? I would do this for free. I hate sales and marketing. It's all about the money. I don't have to make money. I just want to help people. Sound familiar? If it does, I want you to stay tuned. This episode is brought to you by the Flipping 50 Specialist. It's the first and the only fitness specialist and continuing education course built specifically for working with women in menopause, based on the success that Flipping 50 has had working with women in the first and only fitness program and membership online for women in menopause ever. If you work with women between 40 and 60, and especially if you are one yourself, you're in the perfect position to leverage your knowledge and grow your business because there are 46 million women in menopause. And there are 6,000 more every single day entering menopause who are well aware they have a problem. They are actively seeking a solution. Most of them are at a point in their career where they have money to spend or they are willing to budget. And my friend, they want results yesterdays. If you have the knowledge and you also have the ability to leverage that knowledge with marketing and sales that works and avoid those things that absolutely won't, you are set up for a very positive and prosperous future. I'll put the link to that in the show notes. Fitnessmarketingmastery.com/programs is where you'll find it. And let's dive back in to talk about money. All right. Did you resonate with any of those statements? Have you ever said that? You love this so much, you would do it for free. If I had a dime for every time I heard a trainer or a student that I worked with at Iowa State University tell me that, right? Strong statement. But here's my question. How could your money relationship completely be sabotaging your fitness passion? Have you ever given that any thought? So on one hand, and if you look to the right side or to your right hand, you have this fitness passion. You love it. You love the way it makes you feel. You love what it's done for you. You love teaching it. You love the environment. You love the positive thoughts that go along with it. And you love getting up to go to teach and show people exercises. On the other hand, there's the money. There's the having to sell it and promote it. And there's the how much money you make per hour, really, when it comes down to planning your sessions, writing them out, planning the progression of session 1 to 2 to 3 for all your clients, figuring out how you're going to package things, market it, sell it, contacting your clients, handling the texts and the phone calls, trying to get more clients and walking the floor and spending time doing that. When you think about all the hours that you're busy and all the hours that you're not busy during a day, how much money are you really bringing in your fitness business? What is your net worth? Well, here's what I'll say to you about that. You have to raise your self-worth before you raise your net worth. Now, when we were thinking about your right hand and your fitness passion and getting you excited about what you do and the confidence that you do it in that arena, you felt maybe some kind of set of feelings. But when you think about the other side, the managing your money, getting into your bank account, looking at how much is there in your savings and your checking, and what's your budget like this week, what's the feeling that you have now when you think about that? Are they two different things? So if you say things like, I don't have to make money. I mean, my question to you is really? Like, really, you're just independently wealthy and you're just somebody's spouse, or you were born with a silver spoon. Doesn't money help you influence more people, share a bigger message with the world? It gets you power to do more things. I don't care if you donate that money, but it enables you to have the power to speak to more people and influence more people. So if you really truly are doing something to leave a legacy, have an influence, and make a difference, don't you really need money to do that? If you want to change the world in the way that you want, it's going to take money. So, whether you spend that money to better support your own kids, start a foundation, donate it to the poor, create scholarships, or create business opportunities and jobs for others who wouldn't have one, money is the way to make a difference. And if you always feel like you never have enough, like you're always living paycheck to paycheck, like you're always on the edge, you're always spending more, and if you look at your expenditures, really look at them. And there's no judgment here, but there are certain things, and I know we all love them. We love luxuries. We love to get massages and facials and get our hair colored, and we love to get our nails done. And it's almost like it's not just a luxury anymore, it's a lifestyle, right? So maybe 10 or 15 years ago, before you ever got your nails done on a regular basis, it was just like something you did. Sometimes it was like a treat. Now it's like maintenance, right? It's like you brush your teeth, you floss your teeth, you go to the dentist regularly. You also have to get your nails done. So things have shifted, and I just want you to take a look at that. And when you really look at that, you don't really have to spend that money every month, that 50 or 60 or $70 every 3 or 4 weeks, right? You don't really have to go to the store. I discovered that, or go to the salon to get your hair done. Didn't you color it at least once during COVID? I did, for at least half, depending on who I go to. Sometimes that was a third of what I usually spend. So it can be done. You can do things at a different level. But have you ever really looked at, rather than complained about, the money that you're taking in, and looked at instead, did you just decide what you wanted your lifestyle to be and then forgot that you need to gain some money to do that? Or do you plan your budget based on saving and then on what you have left over to be your spending allowance? How do you plan that? Do you have a plan? That's really the question. And again, there's no judgment. This is just to get you thinking. If you feel, or you felt even before COVID-19, that it was hard to be a fitness professional and do what you love and have that fitness passion expressed, but yet not being able to make enough money. So the first thing you have to do is really tackle the thought. If you think that you can't make money in the fitness industry, that's not why you got into it in the first place, you just love it, but there's no money there, you've got to change that. Or you probably never will make money, because the universe will conspire to whatever you're thinking, whatever you truly believe will come true. So take a look at, what are your beliefs? I think it's time to take a look at the message that you've always been given about money that may be on repeat. It's just on repeat going through your head, and you could change it if you want to. There are a lot of messages, though, we've all been given probably as we've grown up, and they're in both ends of the continuum, kind of from the, there's not enough, or, some people have that, but we don't have that. That money is good, but we just can't get any. It's hard to get. Or that, money is bad if you're greedy, if you want money. So listen to these things. Money doesn't grow on trees. We're not the bank. I don't have a money tree out back. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Just work hard and it will be all right. Work hard doing what you love and money will flow to you. She married for money. She's greedy. They are loaded. I don't know how they get their money. We can't afford that. People like that, they don't ever worry about money. We're not like them. They come from money. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough education. So I'm sure you can come up with some others, something that was said in your family. I don't know about you, but I think most of us have heard the one, money doesn't grow on trees, or I don't have a money tree out back. I resonate with that one. Thanks, Mom. If you have limiting beliefs about money and having it, making it feels dirty, wrong, or greedy on some level, and wanting things like certain cars or homes or clothing feels indulgent or luxurious or like something you dream about. It's for other people, but not for you. You potentially have a fitness passion that could ruin your career. Because right now, more than in January of 2020 or before, you can't afford this one thing for sure. Here it is. You can't afford a fitness passion without a love relationship with money. What just happened for you? Did you take offense and have a hard time hearing me say a love relationship with money sound really weird? Maybe, but you better. Pay attention because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Any negative feelings that are coming up around money, or when you say you need to balance your checkbook, or you need to go into your bank account and take a look at what you earn this last week or month, and what did you spend, and what did you spend it on? I mean, if you really could itemize all those things out, were those things that you really needed? Or were those things that you ended up just adding that on to your Amazon order? When you were ordering the soap and the shampoo and the razor blades that you actually needed, did you also add on the perfume, the extra pair of shoes or the sandals that were just so cute, but you didn't really need? I mean, we've all done it, right? No judgment. But if you're in the spot where money is really tight and you really need to get serious about, I want to build money and wealth for myself so that I can relax a little bit. You need to take this seriously. So I encourage you to do this. Do a lot of questioning right now. Do you believe that you can't do good and be rewarded financially for it? Do you believe that you aren't a good person if you afford a certain lifestyle? Do you believe that there's goodness in a struggle, that you have to work hard in order to get money? Do you really believe in what you do? And I know you do. I know the answer to that question. Do you really believe in you? I want you to really look at that. Because if you have some kind of imposter syndrome, and we all do on some level, especially when you're leveling up to play a new game. And it may feel like a new game right now because, when you're in your own small little neighborhood, geographically serving people right there locally, and then suddenly you go online and you're promoting, and you have to be vocal. You have to be on social media. You have to have a website that gets press. You have to have content out there, and you need to go live on camera. That's promoting yourself. And that may put a little bit of wondering or a little bit of imposter syndrome in, like, what if they really knew who I am and what I know? Do you really believe in you? Where are you with that? So always expect that when you go to the next big level and the next thing and the next thing, you'll have some of that come up. But where are you right now? Do you believe in yourself? Do you know you have it? Is there something unique about you that no one else can do? And can you talk about those things? Could you share them with somebody else right now? Not your best friend, but a stranger. Could you put into words why you? Are you investing in learning the things you don't know, or only investing in the things you already do and you want more of? That is a question for a lot of fitness professionals. Over 36 years as an instructor at a university level for 15 of that, watching interns go out after seeing them go through their undergraduate entry level courses, getting to see them out in the real world, and then staying connected with many of them and writing recommendation letters as they changed jobs along their career. I see a lot of people who thrive, and I see a lot of people who changed careers and they gave up. They went to work at a bank because it was safer, predictable, stable paycheck. But part of that was because when they were in fitness, following their passion, they were seeking and following information they already have and knew, instead of things like, how do I handle money? And if I'm a business, how do I pay myself and separate my business money from my personal money? So some of those questions you don't have the answers to. Really, who sits you down in college and teaches you these things? Even in a business school, you may not get this kind of education. This is the kind of thing that you wish your dad had been an entrepreneur and taught you. But if that's not happening because you can't go back in time, it's not too late. I don't have all the answers for you, partially because I don't know your questions. You'll first have to be willing to dive into your relationship with money. You need to open your accounts daily or at least a weekly. Look at your business account, look at your business checking and your savings, look at your personal checking in your savings. Don't let those commingle. And if they are, let's get that fixed right away. Something that's been a huge asset to me is QuickBooks. I have a QuickBooks for my business and I have a QuickBooks personally, and I keep them separate. And so I pay myself from the business, and that way I can document it for tax purposes. And that's been very helpful during COVID-19, doing the PPP loans. And these kinds of things are questions you want to write down that maybe you didn't even know to think about and ask that question. And, in a lot of places, they won't come up. These things won't come up until it's too late, until you need to get a loan, then you're in trouble. You need to pay off credit cards, or you have to, apply to a government sponsored program. This pandemic may not be our first and only. So think about, what do you need to do to set yourself up for the future? Take a look specifically at the revenue that you generate, whether you work for somebody else or you work for yourself, and what you spend. Trainers and fitness instructors are notorious for spending money. And listen, no judgment here. I've been there. I've been there and tried to verify and justify shoes and outfits. And, I know how it works and I know how it doesn't. But we're notorious for spending money on clothes and shoes that are not really considered as required uniforms. And because you wear them for other things other than work exclusively, it's actually not legal to use them as a deduction. So, if you have outfits that you have to wear for work or that you do wear for work, you have to keep them only for work, and you need to change out of them when you leave work and change into them when you go to work. And you need to, if you use things to create videos, only wear those clothes when you're shooting videos, only use those cameras when you're shooting videos. And there's a lot that you need to know about what can I and can't I do, and how can I do a workaround. If I'm shooting videos in my home, how does that happen as a deduction? There are a lot of great questions to ask, and there are people who know the answers and there are people who don't. One of the forgotten things is that, when we spend money on those things that we want and we justify it as, oh, that's a write-off, you got to remember it's still an expense. It isn't free because it's a write-off. And when you get right down to it, it still costs you far more than you get for the deduction. I suggest you connect with an accountant who is up to speed in all things fitness industry. Not just every accountant can do that. So sit down with them, interview them. They're going to be working for you. And trust me, they'll charge you. But as they work for you, make sure that you understand, how proactive are you going to be? So What would you suggest I keep track of? How can I write off these things like I'm shooting videos in my house? I have a room where I dedicate for studio work. I wear certain outfits in specific series of videos. Ask those questions that you have up front and interview more than one. I suggest that you do that soon before you need them. Don't wait until next year, April 15th, depending on what happens to us. Find a resource that can help you manage your own money and learn how to save for your future. QuickBooks has been really handy for me, and I'll put the link to that in the show notes. No affiliate relationship. It's just been helpful. You may want to check it out. The younger you are, when you start saving money, the better. But if you love what you do and you're good at earning and saving more than you spend, it's never too late to build wealth. A fitness passion without a positive relationship with your money can be an expense rather than an asset. It's not too late to get started and get curious about your money, where it goes, and how it can grow. I'm going to link to those resources I mentioned. Christina Wise is a friend of mine, and she's been a mentor and coach. I've gone through her program. She has a podcast called The Wealthy Wealthy, and I will link to her website, and her programs, as well as to QuickBooks and to the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist. And if you have questions, I'd love to hear it below the show notes. And I know this has been slightly off topic, not necessarily about money, not necessarily about sales, but oh so relevant for this moment that we're in right now, because the strong will survive. The strong fitness professionals will survive. And to do that, you're going to have to get wise with your money too. What are you waiting for? The world has never needed you more.